Oh, we're live. Ah!
Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to my friend, my brother, and on April 30th, he will be a part of an amazing BKFC card. He is the one and only Josh D-Day Dyer. Josh, what's going on?
Hey, not a whole lot, man. Just enjoying a nice day up here in South Dakota. Trying to stay chill, nice and calm before the storm.
I like how you said chill because it's kind of rainy. I see what you did there, you clever son of a gun.
Got to look for those the lemons, man. Got to look for the lemons.
Absolutely. So, I mean, my goodness, since the last time we talked, holy heck, you grew up to an umpteenth degree, and for good reason, because you're knocking motherfuckers out.
Hey, that's what the people. You got to get the people what the people want. You can't just be sitting back there getting these decision wins. Told you before.
Yeah.
We got to get those finishes.
And finish you did, because I mean, I don't think there's a BKFC playback or highlight video or what have you on any social media, any YouTube page, any whatever that doesn't have that knockout on it.
Yeah, no, I was pretty proud of that one. They got some good fighters over there, so I was just happy to keep sending them my way. It's making me make me have to work a little bit, but I don't know. It's what the fans want to see, so that's what we got to give them.
Now, does it feel, you're somebody that's done everything, right? You've done the jits, you've done MMA and what have you, and then the fact that at this stage of your career, like you've never been hotter. Like, you're a blue chip. I mean, far more than a blue chip, prospect. You're the one bringing in the goods. Like, that's got to be a cool little validation, if anything, right?
Hey, I appreciate that. Hey, I was really hoping that's what would happen. Every time we go out there, I'm always trying to set off those fireworks and let the bombs go. And that's the type of style that this sport kind of caters to. So I feel really anybody that wants to have any type of success in this sport, you've got to be able to go out there and just give it everything you got. This isn't really one of those sports where you want to chill and run the marathon. It's a sprint. You got to get out there, do it fast, and that's what people are paying to see. Like I said, they're not watching MMA, they're not watching wrestling, they're not watching soccer. They want to see some dudes smashing each other. So that's what we're after.
It's so funny, right? Because like some of those, like, they're filthy casuals, but a different degree, right? Where like, I miss the days of the old UFCs where people just didn't have any gloves and whatever, and they would just beat the hell out of each other, right? So okay, and that is a contingent of them not watching anymore, right? But then you're like, no, BKFC exists. Everything that you say you want, you're getting. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And here it is. Thanks to David Feldman and the rest of the crew. Jeff Houston, amazing and impeccable, ringside announcer and what have you. Like some amazing fighters. Like, you get the drama. You get those oh my gosh, the Charissa Sweetheart fucking fight. Like, Bijan Zan coming over. Like, there's any naysayers that say, oh, it's a passing fad or what have you. Well, guess what? We've been doing this since like pre-people coming over to America, whatever, just fisticuffs, just wrap them up, what have you. And it's kind of an ode to, like, our roots as people.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, everybody can remember back in the day throwing hands with somebody at some point. It's just what comes natural to us. And some people it comes a little bit more natural, and some people find out that it's not really for them. But either way, seems like fighting is a sport that people want to watch. To me, bare knuckles what fighters watch, like
Mm-hmm.
you go do your UFC, and then when you're done, it's like, all right, let's go watch something that entertains us. All right, we're gonna watch some bare knuckle. Couldn't believe that. Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal's out here watching these fights. I'm like, holy cow! I'm like, I'm seeing other like UFC champions, Fabricio Verdum. I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
got Rumble Johnson out here watching these fights. I'm like, dude, like I should be watching you guys fight. Like these guys are over here watching. I'm like, this is crazy. It's definitely an honor.
But again, like talk about it in terms of the validation, right? When you talk about a Rumble Johnson and what have you, you've gone in your own career, some of the places, like in terms of training and all, putting a goal in mind and basically attacking it with every fiber of your being, your mind, body, and soul, right? And you've done it, right? So I think a little bit of like the rub, right? I would say if Shaq, if Rumble Johnson, if Verdum, if everybody hadn't, I mean, hell, look at no further than like legend, living legend, uh, Chris the Crippler Weidman, right?
Yeah,
And he made he didn't want to do another MMA match or whatever. He wanted to basically hang up his boots in a BKFC squared circle, and that tells you all you need to know about what it means to the combat sports community, what BKFC and other promotions of bare knuckle means to our community. It's everything.
yeah, definitely, and it is an honor too. Chris Lieben, man, he's one of the guys that got me into that stuff back in the day. And to see him want to go out slugging, I'm like, people like slugging. That's yeah. I like to see it. I can't settle for that other stuff anymore. I gotta see some slugging.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because for him to get that kind of send off, like the BKFC
What's happening?
gave him, yeah, and again, the parts where he would, he's a hero to us, right? He's a hero, like a legit hero, and to see him get his just due, and those times where he was doing incredible things, he wasn't in a good place,
Yeah, and
mentally, dependent
he's not afraid to
issues.
walk away from a challenge either, or not afraid to go after a challenge. I mean, he didn't have to take on Quentin Henry, man. That was a savage dude. I was like, I don't want to mess with that guy at 205. And he's just like, yeah, I'll take him. Finishes him in the first. I'm like, well, oh, this is my cat, Leo. He's got that lion mane haircut. Can't really see it. Just getting kind of old.
Hi,
But,
Leo.
hey,
Yeah.
Leo, this is my favorite little cat. He didn't like the
Yes.
haircut, but after he was done, he started acting like a lion every day. It was crazy.
Hey, they're not too far removed, right? They're just generations and a couple,
Yeah,
100 pounds. You got the same
yeah,
deal. No, but
definitely.
it's so funny because like here in California, Lehman for the amateurs is a referee. Him and Trig, and Trig does both amateur and pro. Lehman does amateur,
Uh, they're
right?
giving back. I love it.
Yes. Well, the funny thing, right, and a bit of an ironic deal is like you could tell how even fighters fighting where their general knowledge of MMA history is, because like I would see like Lieben or Trig literally like pull somebody off and then the opponent, I mean, like the fighter would push him, and I'm like, oh, you don't. You've probably only been watching in like the Connor or Ronda era. Like, you don't know the hell. Like, I'd rather play in traffic than try to shove Chris Lieben or Frank Drake. Like, let me, I don't know. Like, you got battery acid that I can douse on myself. That's a
Yeah,
way more humane kind of offing than getting it into a tussle with those two.
yeah. Now those dudes are old school, and yeah, I don't know if too many people that would want to get in between that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get those guys throw hard. Gosh, Trig. Oh, yeah, I've watched pretty much all their fights, and yeah, those guys are savages. It's nice watching them, come back and give back to the community a little bit. And you can tell that's a true passion. They're not just out there trying to get rich quick, disappearing. It's something they really enjoy, and those are the things that pours out when they're fighting. Is the reason they become fan favorites. They enjoy it. People they go there because they want to feel something too, and you look out at a Trig or Lieben or anyway, I was like Anderson Silva, man. They're having a good time out there. They're smashing
Yeah.
up everybody. and it's like it's infectious. And you go there because you want to get riled up, and then you see people out there getting riled up, and it's like, hey, that's the person setting the example for the emotional mood going on out here. If you're being boring and walking around circling each other, not doing anything fun, you're still setting the mood. You're gonna start hearing those boos in a minute, and nobody wants to see that.
No, I almost take from like that pro wrestling ideology. Like if you're a good guy or a baby face, like you have the people cheer you. If you're a bad guy or a heel, you have people boo you. Like just absolutely like get the heat. But if you don't get a reaction one way or another, you're in the wrong business.
There's no reason to call you back. It's like,
Yeah.
See you later. Yep. No, I gotcha.
So in terms of like the local reaction after you scored the KO, like obviously, this last year hasn't been the greatest or what have you, but like there had to been people in your community that were living vicariously through you, and like your knockout was a signification of like, hey, whatever the crazy shit that's going on right now, we're gonna knock it out too. Like, did you get any feedback from your local community?
I've had a lot of people message me and just tell me that they really appreciate my willpower and the fact that I just never quit. They're like, we don't really care who you go against because you're not going to quit. I'm just like, well, that means a lot to me. Yeah, that's the idea, is just overcoming adversity. I mean, greatness it's not achieved by your accomplishments. It's by the adversity you had to overcome in order to get there. That's what the stories are made up of. So all these people that have easy careers, they get things handed to them. They might hit the fame for a little bit, but there's no passion attributed to that. They want to see somebody that had to go through some stuff that made it happen. So yeah, we have, I don't know, a couple people a week reaching out, just saying, hey, good luck, we see you working hard. And hard work and determination, that's the thing that I get the most messages from. People like, holy cow, you really deserve this win. You're always working so hard. And I didn't realize people knew I was working that hard. I mean, I'm out here, working out 6 days a week. I'm putting my videos on, but I'm like, I don't really notice too many people watching. And then next thing you know, I got random people walking up all over the place. And they're just like, hey, man, like, keep up the hard work. It's the same thing every time. Like, we see you working hard. I'm just like, okay, well, I appreciate that. You keep it up too. Let's all keep grinding. We all got to be working towards something.
Absolutely, and it's funny because people use that euphemism, positive vibes only. But I mean, sometimes the best stuff comes out of the grit, the pressure, right? I mean, a diamond without pressure. Right. The diamond without pressure is just a lump of coal, right?
Exactly. We got a lot of lumps of coal out there, man. They're just waiting to become diamonds, but some of them can't withstand that pressure. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So, in terms of the ideology, because again, the grit that you didn't back down, and it was a nice little like a comeback, a win and a KO, and those visceral, like that's to me that. America loves the underdog, right? Not to say that you're an underdog. Anybody that looks at you for 2 seconds, like, if this guy's not the underdog, hell no. Like, I can bet the house on Josh Dyer. But it was a precarious position you were in, right? And then to come back and just KO. Shit.
Yeah, he hit me with one of the hardest punches I've ever been hit with in my life. He broke my nose right off the bat, and I was just like, holy cow. I'm like, there goes my breathing. One of my contacts went flying out. I'm like, well, can't see, can't breathe. We better go ahead and end this quick. So, but yeah, there's no stop. You can't quit no matter what it is. That's that adversity. You got to be able to overcome everything. It doesn't matter what it is. You got to be prepared for it. So you can't be rolling on the ground, holding your eye, crying like a little baby. You got to get up and finish what you started.
Damn right. Like the damn Van Halen song, right? I don't give a shit if it's that same Sammy Hagar. It's Van Halen to me, damn it. Just saying. Just saying. Sammy, Dave, I love you both. You just fucking R.I.P. Eddie is what I got to say. Yeah. And our friends over at the Dudes in Ring at Ringside Podcast over on Twitch says, what's going on according to Woods? What's going on, Dudes at Ringside?
Yes.
And yes, and check out Dudes at Ringside on all of their social media as well as Twitch fun wrestling podcast. They just had Damian Dragon of ECWA's Super 8 tournament, friend of the show, and actually so they're doing cool shit. So check out dudes at ringside. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Right on. So fuck, breaking your nose. That wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't the plan, right? You didn't like, oh, I'm gonna my game plan, break my nose, 30 seconds, whatever, and KO the dude. So that was some adversity that in your career you hadn't really experienced in a fight, right? Maybe happens in training and those scuffs and bumps and bruises, but in a fight with the lights on, right? The red light of the recording deal, the lights of, you know, the glitz and glamour of it all. Fuck, you had every reason to go, fuck it, I'm out. But
Yeah.
you
I
showed.
actually broke it 3 weeks earlier before that, also while training. And my training partner, who's a southpaw, he hit me with one of those crosses that you don't see those lefties throw, and slapped my nose sideways. I had to break it back into place, and I was like, "Shit, how long is this going to take to heal?" And
Yeah.
it's like 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, "Well, that's about how long I got till my fight, so we should be good." But I'm like, "Wow, that really sucked. I hope that doesn't happen in my fight because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through that." I'm like, but regardless, I'm probably just gonna have to fight through it. And I was like, so either way, we'll just try not. First thing happens, bam, gets punched sideways, and I'm like, oh, well, well, at least we were prepared for it this time. It didn't kind of just spring up and surprise us, So there's something about going through something in practice that can kind of help you be mentally more prepared for it when it does happen. But yeah, it seems like I break something every fight. That's nothing new.
Wow. He's awesome. Right on. Shout out to the dudes at ringside. Now, the crazy thing about it, right? There's a tenacity that you showed, right? It wasn't just the fact of, it wasn't looking good and then you come back with a come from behind victory and KO, but I mean, it does something to you, right? The fact that that was your worst fear. You broke it weeks before the fight, right? Broke it weeks before the fight. You're like, I hope this doesn't happen. You went through the process of realigning your nose yourself, like fucking whatever, like facial doctor. You guys can sit off into a corner. I got this shit, whatever. I don't
Yep.
have a bill, right? And then, like, you're like, as long as this doesn't happen again, I'm good. And it fucking happens, right? But there's a
Yep.
tenacity in there, right? The fact that that was your worst fear going into the fight,
It
and
was.
you
Yeah,
and
all
you
my
overcame it.
everybody in my corner was like, all right, now just don't quit if you breaks your nose. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. I'm like, I'm not going to quit. And I'm also going to try to avoid getting hit in the nose. So we'll just see. And yeah, whatever. Maybe it's the law of attraction, man. I was already thinking about it. But nah, he was very accurate. So I feel like it was just a matter of time.
Man, but your coaches, your reactions to your coaches as they're like, hey, no matter what, don't fucking give in. Like, did it come from them, or was it like you're fucking something stirring in your soul? Like, I came too fucking far to get fucked up tonight. I mean, I might get fucked up, but I'm gonna take you down with me.
It's a little bit of both. My coaches, they've always trained me to never quit. That's really the only thing they ever tried to instill in me coming up was just like, just don't ever be a quitter. And I was like, all right, well, it sounds easier than it probably is. But they were like, we just don't care. He's like, 90% of fighting is just getting through it. They're like, just don't quit, and you stand a really good chance of winning. And so I'm always just like, all right, let's get it. No matter what happens, we're not going to quit. And yeah, I've made a lot of comebacks like that, and every time I do, it's just a great feeling. Those wars are the best. Going out and hitting somebody once and the fight's over, it's fun. You look cool. The crowd goes crazy, but I don't know. I kind of like those wars a little bit. It makes me feel like I earned something.
That's brilliant. Now, obviously, coming home, right? You've got a lovely family life, and it sucks, having to go away to travel and be away from your family. But coming home, fuck, that had to be cool, right?
Yeah, always cool, man. Every time I get done with a fight, I try to take a little bit of time and just spend it with the family. And You know, they're the ones that are always there for me. My fiance Shelly, she's always trying to take care of our kids and keep up with laundry and stuff. I mean, she's busting her ass all day long. There's so many things that like have to get done, and she's just always trying to help out, cook food and stuff. She's working really hard to like eat healthier and try to make sure the whole family eats healthier. So she's like really being supportive in this for me. So it makes my job that much easier. So then I can really focus on training.
Now, I mean, that's incredible, and shout out to her and the kiddos. Which, I mean, you're instilling. I mean, you know, back when we were kids, right? And kids probably still pre-Zoom lessons. We're doing this like, oh, my dad can beat the top out of your dad, right? Well, your kids' dad actually can. You can take all of it, like you in a PTA meeting. That's got to be fun, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So far, I've at home. My oldest is 5, so she's just hitting kindergarten this next fall. So I'm looking forward to those. But my 2 boys, I got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they're so funny. They've seen all my fights, and so whenever they're trying to like intimidate me or anybody else, they'll run up and they'll start yelling, "I'm Josh Dyer," and then they'll start punching. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you could have picked anybody, but like
Yeah.
they've just seen so many of my fights. They're used to hearing my announcement. They think I'm pretty tough, so they'll come after me, telling me they're Josh Dyer, trying to punch me, and so naturally I'll act like I fly across the room just so. It's like I feel like I'm complimenting myself here, you know.
Yes. I mean, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, and
Oh, 100%.
the fact that you're the next generation want to be you and better versions of that. As a parent, that's what you want, right? For every generation to be just a little bit better, even probably even more better than the one before it, right? That's the way that things should be. And to see, two youngins going like, damn, dad's cool. They want to be dad, like literally by name, and
It's
they
pretty
fight each other.
flattering. Yeah, I was just like, damn, like that makes me pretty happy. I'm like, I know they're my kids and they're probably biased anyway, but I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. You can't take that away from me. Nobody can take that away from me. Not even the
Yeah,
government.
right, there you go. Hey, well, it's funny because I mean, if they're both theoretically Josh Dyer, that sets up a old school Mortal Kombat, mirror match type deal, right? Where like you're facing yourself. That's that's fun. It's so fun.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Now, obviously, uh, April 30th. April 30th. You step back into the squared circle, uh, and in a big way. I mean, coming off of a big and well-deserved win, right? A finish win. But when did you get the call that you were going to be included in this April 30th card?
It was about 12, right about 12 weeks ago. I got the call and they were like, "What do you think about Lorenzo Hunt?" And I was like, "Ooh, sign me up." I was like, "I've been waiting for this cat." I when I first came over to BKFC, everybody told me to like, "Watch out for this dude." I'm like, "They're gonna try to set you up with him pretty soon." And I was just like, little do they know. I'm like, I'm very much interested in this fight before I even came here. Even back in Valor, I was thinking, I'm like, man, this guy would be pretty fun to fight. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
So what? And that's it, right? We're kind of talking about drawing money and what have you. They say styles make fights, and the fact that you guys, you know, like you guys could create fireworks. So this, by many's estimation, could potentially be the fight of the night, right? So what about Lorenzo that intrigues you? That kind of like makes you want to chomp at the bit to fight him and put on a good show for the people.
Yeah. So the thing that gets me the most excited is he's a pretty aggressive opponent, and that is great for me because I'm also very aggressive. And when you get 2 guys that are going at it very aggressively, eventually one person has to back up or get knocked out. And there's something satisfying about it not being me. when that happens. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching one of the most aggressive fighters in the world retreat and run from me and have to chase him down for the finish. So it's a pretty bold statement, but I fight one way, and that's going forward. So we'll see. We'll see if he can fight going backwards. I don't think he can. So we'll have to give it a shot.
When this fight got announced, I was like, holy fuck. This is two bulls in a china shop. This is like two gorillas in a Samsonite deal trying to break their fucking way out. And their way out is breaking each other's faces. I was like, if it's the blood and guts that you want, this has everything. Hunt versus Dyer. Holy fuck, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of sites saying they're anticipating this could possibly be fight of the year, and yeah, I do not disagree. Um, as long as his chin holds up and mine holds up, I think this could be one of the best fights you guys have ever seen, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. You know, just to get to go out there and share it. Lorenzo's done a really good job. He's gone out there. He's got that 100% finish rate, and that's what I like to see. I like to see finishers going at it. I also have a 100% finishing rate. I don't like going to decision, and I'll do anything to avoid that. If there's 10 seconds left on the clock, and I've won every single round, and the smart decision would be to retreat and let time run out, I will be going in for the finish because I want to end it. So I think he's the same way. He doesn't seem like the type of dude that likes to dance around and run from people. So I think you're going to see us smashing into each other, and somebody's will is going to get broken. Is what's going to happen, and I don't think it's going to be mine.
Yeah, orthodontist. This is going to be an orthodontist dream because they're going to make pay dirt after you guys are done. I'm just saying, like everything's going to be discombobulated and reapplied again. It's amazing. But obviously, going into this fight, there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of chatter, right? So with that, it comes pressure, theoretically, right? But do you use that as like a Bobby Boucher tackling fuel and just fucking using that as catalyst to make everybody right? Like all the odds makers, all the fucking people that then a vested interest in this fight, right? Does it make you kind of keenly aware to prove them right? Or is it like, oh shit, like, is it kind of almost anxiety inducing?
I don't have any anxiety, which is ironic because I used to be one of the, like, I suffer from the worst pre-fight anxiety of anybody you ever met. I used to be so scared before my fights that I'd have to like pee my pants like 50 times, so I have to like run to the bathroom and I'm like, all right, they're gonna have to like retape my hands. And I was just, the butterflies were overwhelming. I felt like I was gonna throw up leading all the way up to the fight. And it just used to be really rough, but I just found a way to push through every time. And now I've gotten to the points where I don't feel any anxiety. Whenever I go out there to fight, I'm not nervous. I'm calm. I'm collected. I already know what I'm going to do. And yes, there's a lot of people that have invested in me recently that have given me their time. They send financial help. They've been reaching out. I've got a lot of people that are behind me because they see the work ethic that I'm putting into this. It's not really what I'm saying or doing on TV that's inspiring people. It's what I'm doing behind the scenes, and I don't really post a lot of my in-depth workouts online. I'm a pretty conservative person. I don't like my opponents to be able to see what I'm doing, so I like to keep that in the background. But we're getting close enough to that fight where it's like, yo, I'll let some things slip. Like, I've been training for this fight since October. I've been in a 6-month training camp for this fight. I mean, this guy, he's fought 5 times in the last year, and I don't think he has had the time to fully recover and have a legit training camp for someone like me. Which is great because I feel like I'm going to have a couple advantages there. He's going to have a lot more experience, but yeah, there's a lot of people that I would like to prove right in this fight, and even more people that I would like to prove wrong in this fight. But as far as anxiety goes, I don't have any. I'm just excited to get out there and do what I love, and I'm very appreciative for the opportunity to do this. And yeah, I'm just excited. I see them raising my hand after this fight, and just the look of I'm not even surprised. Like, hey, yeah. I mean, I know the hard work that I put in the background, so the only thing surprising would be if something else happened and he knocks me out in one punch. Hey, I'll be like, I'm the most surprised dude in the world. I did not see that coming. Turns out he's super tough, but I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve to prevent that right hand from touching. So I'd like to showcase those on the 30th.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And speaking of showcases, our friends over at the Dudes at Ringside podcast is hosting our channel, by the way, on Twitch. So we are simulcast on the Dudes at Ringside channel. So thank you guys. And shoot me a DM. And I'm 36 years old. Show me how to fucking do that. I'm going to do the same for you guys. So just saying, right? That's cool. We're fucking simulcast. I feel like WCW and fucking Shane McMahon shows up and it's on Raw at the same time. Fucking all the feels, man.
Jeez, that would be insane. Gosh.
Yes. Do you remember
Wouldn't that be something just to look out in the crowd and just see like a bunch of professional wrestlers out there like, this is what we like to see. Sean McMahon's out here setting stuff up like, all right, we're taking bets over here. Like, who we bringing over to our show? You're coming to Raw as War, buddy. We love the personality. We're going to make this happen.
Never seen have you seen Raw Underground?
Not
that
lately.
Happened. No. They had okay, so Josh Barnett has been doing this amazing thing, and I think it's an ode to, like pan craze of Japan and what have you, but it's called Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. And before Josh Barnett took it, Matt Riddle had it, and basically it was shoot, fight, wrestling, like fucking slams, KOs, and all that shit. Well, WWE, they say they weren't influenced by one iota, but I call fucking bullshit on that.
Because what we Too many similarities.
Yes, but the thing about it is, I mean, we had like Barnett versus John Moxley, who was Dean Ambrose in the WWE at the last incarnation of Bloodsport. There's like two fucking like a UFC champion and fucking WWE former champion, fucking beating the shit out of each other and bleeding like stuck pigs, right?
Nice.
So there's that. Yes. So we got the WWE version of Raw Underground, and what happened was Shane McMahon is greeting you. Right? And then they go to girl on a stripper pole. What underground fight do you have girl on stripper pole? Nothing against girl on the stripper pole, but I'm not thinking of that as a blood and fucking guts fight. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? And then at the same time, they had a rebellion-like stable who had taken over the company and fucking like torn apart the ring and the announcer's table. But again, Raw Underground, where there's supposedly badasses, and then in literally the same 3-hour show, these people havoc. How come if you really didn't want that shit to happen, send the badasses to beat the fucking faction? I don't know. Maybe I'm making sense of it. Which is what they did.
I don't know. I think you're on the right track.
Oh, Samoa Joe versus Tomohiro Ishii. I want to see that. Let's book that, guys. And LOL says NWA Bad Blood. Yes. So, speaking, right? Obviously, we were talking about pro wrestling, right? Do you have a favorite pro wrestler? Past, present?
I don't know. I was never really into the pro wrestling scene, but I don't know. Hulk Hogan was pretty cool. I don't know. I liked him in all the movies he did. Oh, but my man, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting Dwayne Johnson used to be a wrestler, dude. He's been so successful in his movies. Definitely going with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That guy is probably my favorite human being on the planet, and he should probably run for president of the United States.
Oh, he's setting the seeds. Have you seen Young Rock? He's fucking... Yes. So, first off, Dwayne Johnson is a third-generation wrestler. His grandfather, the great High Chief Peter Maivia, and his dad, the Soul Man Rocky Johnson, right? So, he's third generation. It's in his blood. But on NBC, they basically have The Young Rock. It's a sitcom. and they basically take from his life. So you've got somebody playing Andre the Giant and Junkyard Dog and all this shit, whatever. But it takes place with the guy from God, Fresh Off the Boat, the dad in Fresh Off the Boat, i.e., the one who played Kim Jong Un in The Interview, right? The fucking
Oh
James
yeah,
Franco movie.
I don't know who that actor is.
Yeah, Randall Park.
Okay.
Yeah. So Randall Park is interviewing Johnson, and theoretically, he's already on the campaign trail of 2024. That's the
Oh
way
my
they
gosh.
he's setting the seeds, and he's getting paid. Basically, it's a paid fucking deal on network TV in his ascension to eventually become president. He's already
Wow.
getting us conditioned to the idea and getting
Yeah.
paid for
I
it.
didn't even think that that was wow. I'm voting for him.
Same. Hey, you're talking to the guy that like my first election as an 18-year-old kid here in California, first vote. Our governor fucked up. We have a history of our governor fucking up. Just saying. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was on the ballot, but also like porn star Mary Carey and Gary Coleman. Shit got wild really quick. But
Wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was the one. And I was like, fuck, 18-year-old. I'd like to have the fucking Terminator as fucking governor. He
Yeah.
won.
Hey,
He
at
won.
least he's gonna do something, right? He's most likely gonna get something done.
So
That's the way I
I
look at it.
yeah, so I have a fun story. So I used to work at this it was a corporate coffee shop, but it was a coffee shop right under the famed Getty Center, right in Brentwood, in the hills of Brentwood. And that dude, he lived there at the time, right? The Santa Monica Hills and what have you. Well, every morning that he was the governor, he would come in. He would be our first customer of the day before we even opened, right? And we get like these big, like a dozen French cream donuts. Like it was just like cream and fucking donut. They're huge, right? And then like two jugs of fucking black coffee, right? And the motorcade and whatever. We found out that he took his own dime, took his cavalcade to the Santa Monica airport, flew to Sacramento, literally on the other end of the state, north, right? Like the other end of the state, did his duties as the governor, came back home, right? And he was our last customer a day, basically buying a nice fruit tart for his family to take home or whatever. He did that all on his own dime. Didn't take 1 cent while he was governor.
Very rare. Very
Yep.
rare to see something like that. Yep. With great power comes great responsibility, but you don't see too many people that can handle it.
I'm just saying, which we'll talk about power, right? And for power, you got to have great sources, right? So, what are some of where do you get your power from? Is it music? Is it movies that you watch? What gets you amped up? Like, what is playing in the background? What is your ideal rock music to kind of, I guess, recalibrate the circuits for battle?
Man, honestly, it's all for me. It's all breathing. I've been practicing my breathing for a couple years now, and it's crazy what your body's capable of. Like once you've learned how to master your breathing, you know you can control your heart rate, you can control your thoughts, your attention span, your aggression. There's a lot that you can control from that. Music, I don't really like losing control of my emotions a whole lot. I'm a very emotional person, and I've spent a large part of my life like trying to control those and kind of funnel them. And now I'm just uh, I've I've become such a calm individual. You know, like I don't like showing emotion, and I don't like being controlled by it. So uh, I really don't. I avoid certain types of music for walkout songs because it gets me so fired up and like I adrenaline dump, and next thing you know, I'm just like ready to go. So um, if I had to pick, if that's what you're asking, the kind of
Yeah,
music gets me really fired up. Uh, I don't know. Twist is pretty good. I like Lil Jon. Uh,
really.
big, yeah, big fan of them. Mercules. I've been listening to Mercules lately, and that dude's got some good stuff. His Rockstar remix is pretty good. That was a runner up for walkout song. But yeah, that and just the things that really drive me are just trying to figure out what the human body is really capable of. Pushing myself harder mentally, physically, spiritually, any way that I can, trying to develop fully. That's what's getting me like the most amped. And then going out and testing those theories, like after finding out all these little mini breakthroughs, I got to go out and test it now. And for me, that's what fighting is, I'm always trying to test where I'm at, physically, mentally, where I'm at. Did I want to quit in this round? Did I want to break down here? And then coming back stronger every single time. And, it's a full thing. You got to get mentally stronger, physically stronger, and together at the same time that's a pretty hard combo to compete with.
No, 1,000%. And I love that you mentioned breathing because, I mean, we say it, in jiu-jitsu communities, Rickson Gracie's choke, where he's making his stomach all like past the breath and
hula dancing.
Yeah, with his like literally his like abs, making his abs hula dance. Like I didn't know that was a thing until Rickson Gracie's choke, but there it is. You got the Wim Hof method. Wim Hof is all about the ice bags and controlling your breathing and what have you. So when did you become aware that like breathing was a crucial component of your overall maintenance of your body? Because I mean, is it something that when you're gosh, if you get your nose broken 30 seconds into a fight, you got to figure out how to breathe in a different way than you're used to.
Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I started learning that I can recover a lot faster during my breaks by holding my breath for 4 seconds at a time while I was taking my breaths between breaks, just because it slows your heart rate down so much. And for me, I mean, when I come out of my breaks, I mean, that's one of the ways I go so hard when I'm fighting is because I know how to recover so well. And it feels like you're suffering because all you want to do is just, breathe really quickly and suck wind. But it's a very undisciplined way to try to regain. It's a primal, old school, outdated system, that it's not ideal. It works, but it's just not ideal. And so that's what I've been trying to do is find ways to recover quicker so that I can maintain a higher level of output than my opponent, which also usually results in me having a better performance than my opponent. So it's all kind of relative.
So when you harness that power, I mean, what was that? Did you do it in the gym? When did you realize like there was a substantial difference between, your past life? You were a veteran before, a combat sports veteran before that, right? But obviously with the new superpower, you kind of figure out what you can do with it. So did you go into the gym and go like, and control the breathing while you're sparring? Like, well, how did that go?
So basically, I've got like a big poster, like my big fight banner downstairs in my basement, and I got it hung up on my workout area. And so I would just look at that poster, turn the lights off, have like one little light on, so it just barely lets out any light, and all I can see is the poster. And I'm like, that's the dude I'm fighting for this next fight. I'm like, it don't matter what my opponent brings, I'm fighting me. And so I'm like, I'd look at myself and I'd be like, I'd throw on a 50-pound weight vest and I just start doing burpees as fast as I could, man. And just anybody who's done burpees knows that they're the king of all exercise. They're full body workout, they're aerobic, they're anaerobic. They're basically the most hated exercise in the world. And yep. I would do those until I couldn't even breathe anymore. And then I would just stand up, I'd stare at the poster. And when I felt like I was going to pass out from like pure lack of oxygen, I would then force myself to hold my breath. And it felt like pure suffering. And, but as I would do that, I would just take a deep breath, hold it. And then I try to hold it for as long as I can and then release it. And I just do that over and over. And after a couple of months, I realized that I can drop my heart rate 30 to 40 beats a minute within 60 seconds, just doing that technique. And it's very painful, very excruciating. It's the closest thing to drowning that I could describe. But the more you do it, the more easy it becomes, the more you get more familiar with what's happening and why. You got to like overcome all the mental barriers trying to tell you to breathe, and you get more oxygen if you breathe faster. There's a lot of things that that you have to overcome. But basically, as long as you're only holding it for like 4 to 6 seconds at a time, your body is absorbing all the oxygen that it needs. You're just saving energy, in your diaphragm from pumping it out, and you're also slowing that heart rate down. So it's helping you out there too. So it's people don't understand how vital it is to drop your heart rate, between bouts of exertion. You can't just maintain 180 beats a minute for a 10-minute fight. You've got to bring that down, and that takes a lot of mental strength, a lot of willpower. So yeah, I'd highly recommend anybody that's in this sport to master their breathing.
Yeah, and you put it that way, right? And it's almost like a weight cutting, right? Where, yeah, you might make weight, or you might, go like some crazy, like closing in on like 180 beats per minute, in terms of the fight, because again, adrenaline happens, all this stuff, whatever. But is it really sustainable, right? Is it really healthy? It's when you see people that are on, the weigh-in day and everything like that, and people are like, "Oh, they look so fit." I'm like, no, that's somebody close to dying, because they're pretty much
Yeah.
they're prune, they're skin and bones as close as you're gonna get, and then ligaments and what have you, right? And then also, with the you ramp yourself up. There have been, boxing instances and some regional MMA shows where, people have had heart attacks in the ring because they weren't able to control it, So
Yep,
like
it's a
it
real
might be,
thing.
yes, and it might be good for like, you might think it might be good, but like the long term reverberation that it has on your body, not a good thing.
Nope, you're absolutely right about that. Um, yeah, learning how your body functions and all the intricate systems that you have, the more you find out about it, the easier it is. I don't know, maybe not willpower wise to like do what's right for yourself, because it seems like anything that's healthy and right usually involves discomfort to some degree. Turn away the donut, eat the healthy yogurt, or eat the ranch salad, or the salad with no ranch dressing on it. It's just not the same. But you know, yeah, no, discipline is very important. I'd say.
No, 100%. Which, I feel like a total jerk face for bringing up the French cream donut as a guy that's cutting weight. I'm a jerk, but obviously that's got to be a little bit of a catalyst that you can eat normally again once once you fight April 30th, right? So, do you have any, especially after that like last knockout? Like, what is your go-to after the fight, after the weight cut? Like, do you have a meal that you like? More protein, more sugar? What is your fancy?
I don't know, man, but there's a lot of good stuff. I'm a pretty healthy person. Like I really just try to stay healthy year round. I'm trying to be an athlete year round. Always improving. So I try not to slip off the wagon too much. But Reese's Puff cereal is pretty good. That's all I'll say.
Those are facts.
It's pretty
Those are,
good.
oh, I've got this deal where like everything becomes Reese's in like whatever oatmeal with a whole glop of peanut butter, whatever. My
Yeah,
my kids
I
already know.
love
Like,
peanut butter, man.
yes.
It's so good.
Okay, your favorite peanut butter. Do you have a favorite brand? Do you natural, salted, no salt? What's your deal?
Uh, I don't know. That natural stuff seems like it's pretty good. I like that oily kind of like
Mm-hmm.
healthy
Gotta,
oil kind of stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Open it up. It's like this thick of oil at the top.
Yeah, it's part like, what is it like? What is it? The Amish woman churning butter,
Yeah.
part shake weight, to try to get all the consistency right. But when you get it, oh damn, is it good?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan, because then at least it feels like you're eating something that's halfway as healthy for you. And it's so good. Peanut butter and banana sandwich. That's been my go-to sandwich for about 15 straight years. I'm a
Really?
big fan of that sandwich. You ever had one?
Yes, that's the Elvis special, man.
Oh, good. Okay, thank God. Yeah,
It
those things are fantastic.
See, that's the thing. That's the only way I can eat bananas. Like, I would rather take a potassium pill rather than eating bananas. It's just not fun. But I will have it in a peanut butter and banana sandwich. Damn right. Don't get it
Yeah,
twisted.
that's actually my go-to, I would say, probably, because bananas are my favorite fruit, and peanut butter's got to be like just God's gift to the world, man. It's like, here you go. I'm gonna do you guys a solid favor right here. Here you go. Peanut
Yeah.
butter. The
Yes.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Thanks, JC, man. You did it. You did it. Damn it. Which I gotta say, right? So April 30th. Do you have a prediction of how it's gonna go? You guys are two big fucking hosses, man, and fireworks. So, do you have a prediction?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Um, so I have a really strong feeling that I'm going to put him down once in the first, and I don't think I'll have enough time to finish him in the first, but I think he'll hang on through the second because he'll start respecting my power a little bit, and then I'll finish him in the third. So I think he's going to gas out. He's gonna expect that he's going to be able to hang with my pace, just like everybody does. And by the end of round two, he's going to be like, holy shit, when is this dude going to stop? And then by round three, he's just going to be like, I don't want to be here anymore. And he's going to be like, I thought I was going to knock this dude out. He's going to hit me with some good punches. I've already called my orthodontist. Yeah, I'm already got an appointment scheduled. So I'm like, hey, as soon as I'm done my fight, don't book anybody. I'm coming in. I'm going to need some teeth work.
Yeah.
That's already taken care of. So I'm not worried about that. As soon as I get back into town, we're going to the dentist. We're going to get that squared away. But yeah, no, I think he's going to get stopped in the third. I 100%. I know this is not going to go to decision. It's just not going to happen. I will ensure that it will not go to decision. If you're trying to bet on this fight and you're like, hey, I'm betting that Josh is going to win a decision, don't bet that. Don't bet that. I swear to you, it's not going to happen. I will do anything to avoid that situation. So yeah, that's not happening. I'm not ruining my
Yeah.
knockout ratio like that. I'd rather get knocked out going for the finish than getting my hand raised by a decision. It disgusts me. Like I feel like I need to apologize to the crowd when I'm done. Like, sorry guys. Yeah, I couldn't even finish somebody in a fight. Like, you got two dudes here fighting and one dude isn't done yet. It's been 10 minutes. Like, come on. Like, this has got to be done. But yeah, I suspect a third round finish.
I like it. I like it. That's, I mean, fuck, man. Again. Can it be April 30th already? That's what I want. So obviously, Josh, there have been a lot of people who have supported you, not just in this fight camp, but and not just in fighting itself, but life. So take as long as you need. Let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Alrighty. So yeah, currently my biggest sponsor right now. Give a big shout out to Austin Pretty Boy Peterson. He operates Pretty Boy Performance, and he's been basically getting me physically fit for this fight for the last 6 months, free of charge. So yeah, we're looking to make some expansions after we take care of business on the 30th, and then. I'd like to thank Doll Chainsaw Art. They've been helping me out financially, as well as Car Swap. They've been there for every one of my fights recently. They're making sure that I got what I need, so whenever I get out there, I can represent them. And want to give a big shout out to Combat Brothers, Smith Combat Brothers, my manager down in Florida. He operates a really good team, and I'm just really glad for the opportunity, to get out there and be able to represent. Big shout out to Apex Inc. Got me a little fresh tat for this fight. Had to give myself a cover up from one of my not so intelligent previous ideas in the past. So at least now I won't be representing other individuals out
Yeah,
there. So
that
got that
works.
all taken care of. Yeah, and then like I said, my family, my friends, they've been there for me. All I talk about is fighting. So for everybody that has listened to me blab about this sport that I care so much about. Sorry for the run-on sentences and all the same repetitive stories and stuff. But friends are there, and we're gonna party like it's the end of the world. April 30th, win, lose, draw. I don't care. We're gonna get out there. We're gonna party all night long when we're done. So my crew's gonna come rolling up with me, and we're planning on having ourselves a really good time.
Damn right. Yeah, and then shout out to the missus and the soon to be missus, I should say, soon to be missus and the kiddos.
Hells yeah. No, that's the home team right there. That's what gets me driven every day. Every time I'm feeling like I don't want to do another workout, one of the kids says some freaking awesome compliment, and I'm just like, all right, that's all I needed. We're gonna keep pushing. So we'll keep pushing.
Damn right. So again, to see him push BKFC, get the app. You can thank us later. It's going down April 30th. April 30th. I can't wait. It's Christmas come early. Josh, I can't wait to see you do your thing. Good skill. Thank you again for doing this, my man.
Absolutely. Hey, my absolute pleasure. And yeah, look forward to another one once we take care of business.
Hell yes, hell yes. And while we're getting into thank yous, well, thank you guys for watching us here at According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I mean, Josh, you're subscribed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why
Hell
wouldn't
yeah.
I be? Adam Woods is the man. This guy brings baller content. You can tell the passion. Look at this guy over here. He loves what he does. And that's why I'm so excited for these videos. This is the #1 podcast I look forward to every fight. So I'm this will be the extra motivation I need. So I appreciate that.
I'm ready to fuck shit up too. Damn it. Hell yes. So be like Josh. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. And if you don't believe me or him, and I don't know why you wouldn't, we were literally tearing our shirts off and we paid pretty top dollar for these damn shirts. But
Absolutely.
hell yes. But to get into it, here's Zeta Zhang as well.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang.